Hi, I'm Milton Rendell, and a bit of a happy traveller obviously in the last couple of weeks. So welcome to Real News Friday. Look, I'm here in Darwin in the evening. As you can see, plenty of lights in the background. I'm in the waterfront area of Darwin where a lot of the cafes are, a bit of a lagoon here, and swimming. And around here is a popular for tourists, etc., and plenty of apartments, etc. Darwin's a very big surprise for most people, as it has been for me. I've been here a couple of times now, but it's pretty deep in history, keeping in mind that poor old Darwin was bombed during the Second World War, and over an 18-month period, and there's over 60 ships sunk, which is actually more than was sunk at Pearl Harbor. So, it's pretty deep in character and thought type location. Keep in mind that after they rebuilt after the war, old Cyclone Tracy came along in the early 70s and levelled most of it out. So it's very modern, Darwin. It's a lot of modern apartments, and it really is a bit of a surprise for many, but it's a very resilient town, and also it's well worth exploring some of the museum and other things. It's a fantastic plane museum just out of town. There's also a war museum as well as a general museum as well. So all well worth having a look at and checking out, but pretty relaxed lifestyle here. Now on the real estate side of it, some feedback is that there's probably returns of between 5 to 7% depending on where you purchase. So there are cheap apartments, one bedroom sitters sort of in the low 100s, but the better quality stuff is probably from about the high 200s through to probably about the 450 mark. Good returns, as I've said before, so suitable for superannuation funds. But keep in mind that like all apartments, obviously the quarterly levies can be a bit higher, and of course insurance up here because we've got cyclones and things like that. So just got to keep an eye on the net returns. The returns I've given you previously are gross returns based on those, but certainly better than what you get in the bank at the moment. Getting back to West Australia, look, obviously rentals are still clicking on fairly well, and sales are sort of clicking along. Look, we see a small increase in stock, and we've spoken about that recently, but again we need to see where the trend goes between now and the end of September. There's lots of talks of slowing the market. It's such a mixed message out there, I think, because we've got to be careful we not just get sucked into what's being said on the East Coast. I think West Australia is pretty independent in itself, and I think will prove to be between now and the end of the year. So I think rentals will continue, so for investors it's certainly still a good time to invest because returns are there, and you can secure long-term tenants. Unemployment isn't an issue. It's finding people to work, and we've seen that in Kununurra and also here in Darwin. There is a shortage of people looking for work. Not looking for work. There's a shortage of looking for work. There's plenty of jobs available, but not enough people to fill them, and unfortunately you're seeing in some of these remote places like Kununurra, etc., that the restaurants aren't opening. They're only doing takeaway food. I was talking to someone just been to Catherine. They said there's no restaurants open at all. It's only takeaway food that's suitable. Anyway, check out more. Check out realestateplus.com.au and chat to you next week.